Welcome back, guys. It's Fantasy Endgame, and we're here to do one thing, and that is draft. We're going to mock draft again, and we did this last night. Hopefully, if you didn't get in last night, you can get in. Always a long queue to get in. Looks like there's a good chance that everyone who's waiting here will get in, but we'll see. So let me just tell you, though, there's always a way. The one way you can guarantee to get yourself that link nice and early is flockfantasy.com/endgame. That's the link where you can go to check out everything that we offer in terms of bonus content, rankings, articles, written articles, not just videos, but also bonus videos. We're going to have some live streams and, of course, links to the live drafts like this. You can get 30% off any subscription if you use that link. It's flockfantasy.com/endgame. Check it out now, or better yet, wait until after his draft and then check it out. Or you can sign up really super quick before Chris drops the link and try to get yourself in the game. So I'm in. I got my spot on. I'm pretty good. Chris, you're in. I see you took 12 spot today.
I'm in. Took the 12 spot. We'll try this on the turn. Not the best spot, but probably better than the middle like last night. The middle, that was a struggle.
Middle is always hard, but we always try to mix it up. Never take the same spot twice because you want to have some experience drafting from everywhere. So I do recommend that, of course. You guys are going to just take what's given to you, right? We already got some people waiting. What's up, Bus? Always here. And Stinger, I know, is waiting. So let's see who's in. Ready for that link?
All right, here we go. Here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
All right, while this fills up, which it already has, what are we doing here? We're going to go 3 receivers, 2 running backs, standard fare.
Actually, no, I changed. It's 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flexes. So it gives you a little more flexibility, right? So if you go, you don't have to pound wide receiver, 1 tight end, full PPR. Really quick, we have a guy, Gucci something or other. I don't think he's actually online. So I am going to open this up for one more person, if I can remember how to do this. How do I... There was a way. Maybe I had to do it on my phone. There's a way. One second.
Yeah, and that's one thing. It's one reason why we don't anymore. Those who have been with us on the Discord, which, by the way, I don't think I've even mentioned Discord. If you want to get into the Endgame Discord, go through that link I already mentioned. We used to drop the link early, and that way our patrons, when we're on Patreon, would get that link early. But sometimes people would join, and then hours later, stuff happens. You get busy, you miss it, you forget. So that's why we wait till the last second here. People who are actually on live, so we don't want to have to mess around with finding a replacement. So,
all right, I'm about to remove him from the 5 spot.
Okay.
So get ready, guys.
It's the same link. Same link.
Same link. It's in the chat. I just dropped it in the chat. Here, I'll drop it again. Drop it again one more time so everybody has a fair shot. I'm about to remove him right now. It's open.
Yeah, that took about half a second.
That was fast. All right. that was I feel like it filled before I even hit save. How is that even possible? How is it possible?
Our boy Jazz Chisholm making an appearance. We always get some celebrity cameos.
Yes.
All right, and let's see. No Rob Broccoli tonight. You'll be thankful for that. Stinger got in. Frank Gore is in the house. We're always honored by his presence. Got a lot of airtime last night. Looks like Sam has number 1 spot. Ale holding it down at 2. Are we ready? Let's get this thing started.
Let's go, Sam. You are on the clock at the 1. That was fast. Quick 2 picks.
All
right, okay. Pretty standard start so far.
Hill 3 overall is that's fairly aggressive. I mean, we don't always see him as number 3 receiver, but usually we see CMC go somewhere in the top 3 or 4 picks.
I like that start. I like CMC at 5. That's where I'm taking CMC. I'm not taking him in the top 4. I'm just not doing it.
I think
I
still
know,
would take
I
him
know the
over.
arguments. I know all the pros for CMC, but the cons are he just came off almost 300 touches again, getting up there in age. Now has a ton of touches on him. I don't know. I like the wide receivers better.
Well, that is the one thing, is because somebody yesterday asked, what about Justin Jefferson? He's going to have the 1.1 curse like the last couple of years. And, well, the difference is that the 1.1 last couple of years was a running back. He's not that. So I'm not too worried about Jefferson or Chase, really.
Yeah, I mean, Chase did miss some. I mean, like, wide receivers do get hurt, but their injuries are usually like we saw with Chase last year, or maybe they miss a few games, 4 games, then they're back. Unless they get hurt towards the end of the season like Cup. But running backs tend to have more of the serious injuries, that pile on. I mean, remember, prior to last year, Christian McCaffrey, 10 games in 2 years. That was it. You got 10 games out of him in 2 years. So, like, he's still my RB1. I still like him. I just like those 4 receivers better. CeeDee Lamb, it's a good pick there.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like I should be taking Devontae Adams, but I don't know. With Jimmy G, can he really put up,
Nah,
numbers? I don't know.
No. I don't want to say it yet, but
I mean, I still feel it's a first round pick. Don't get me wrong, but I do think I like Lamb over him right now.
I don't even have him as a first round pick, honestly. I would take this guy that I'm about to take over him for sure. And then, do I go? Well, it's not a 3 wide receiver league, so I'll happily take JT here.
There you go. Okay, so while actually, I got a couple more until to my team, and then we'll talk about this. Some people dropping hints in the chat, and I had not even heard this yet. I guess it just happened not too long ago. Some news, some big NFL news, sort of big, I guess. But let's see. I'm almost up. So let's throw it up here.
Yeah, you haven't heard about this yet? You didn't hear the news? He's to the Browns.
To the Browns. I mean, Buzz seems to think this is a bad thing. But is it? Why would this be bad that he gets to be the number 2 guy for Deshaun Watson now and gets out of the Jets' toxic environment?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the Browns obviously want him. He's going to be the number 2. He's going to get tons of run out of the slot. This is great for Elijah Moore. It can't be worse. It can't be worse than the Jets, where they don't even want him. They don't even play him.
No, exactly. I mean, I know there's different OC, but it can't just be that. Like, it wasn't just this one guy he had beef with. I mean, it was a whole thing. Like Zach Wilson, sure, but if Aaron Rodgers doesn't love a guy or you don't think he can get along with him, they might as well trade him. Like, obviously they must have consulted him. There's something going on here, right? There's a reason it happened when it did. Going to the Browns, I think that's great. I think it's a great spot.
Great spot. Yeah, I love that spot. I think he'll certainly be out there in 3 wide receiver sets in the slot, and I'll bet you he'll get a decent amount of run even in 2 wide receiver sets over DPJ. So, yeah, not a bad move for Cleveland either. Look, Elijah Moore is entering year 3. It was a 42nd pick. Like, it was well worth the gamble. Well worth the gamble for them. And you got to think, like, we keep. So we had this argument last night where people were saying, like, the Bears barely threw the ball last year. They're not going to throw the ball again. But it's like, well, that was last year. They didn't have the personnel to throw the ball. The Browns ran 11 personnel like 70% of the time, which is actually very low for the NFL. They're going to run 3 wide receiver sets way more often now because they have the personnel. They didn't have a 3rd wide receiver. David Bell, who I liked as a prospect, was terrible last year. He was terrible. Yeah, so they couldn't run 3 wide receivers. They'll run 3 wide receiver more. They will throw the ball more. Deshaun Watson will be better. You got to project forward, not look backwards. Project forward.
Yeah, exactly. I actually didn't even like David Bell that much as a prospect. Didn't have high hopes for him. Yeah, like you said, didn't do much. DPJ is solid, good field stretcher. He has really good hands. I think DPJ is a little underrated, but I don't know that he's a true target hog
No.
necessarily. I more, working out of the slot. I think it's gonna be great for him.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be better. It's got to be better than the Jets.
And then also the Jets now to, I guess, replace Elijah Moore, if you want to call it that. Got McCole Hardman. Does this matter in any way?
No, that's why I'm so high on Garrett Wilson now. So I was thinking about it today. I definitely have Garrett Wilson over Adams now. Assuming that the Jets can work out whatever deal with the Packers and make the trade and get Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to assume right now that it will be Aaron Rodgers. Garrett Wilson's going to get like a 30% target. You think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball to like McCole Hardman or he barely threw the ball to Alan Lazard last year when it was all he had. I mean, he's going to throw it to Denzel Mims or Corey. No, Garrett Wilson's going to get a 30% target share from Aaron Rodgers. That's what Aaron Rodgers will do. So I might even have him over AJ Brown right now. Honestly, I'm very close to putting them over AJ Brown.
Wow, over AJ Brown. Okay, I mean, that's a little hot, for me because, yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers isn't what Aaron Rodgers was. You know what I mean? So I still like AJ Brown tied to Jalen Hurts a little bit better, but I mean, I think he is going to wind up being just what he was right now, first round pick. I mean, I think that's going to happen. What about the Chiefs now? Also talking about that, got rid of Hardman, but a lot of smoke around the fact they might be trying to make a move for like DeAndre Hopkins, something like that. We did talk about that in the trade video.
They have to do something. They have like you can't. I mean, look. Young Money said it last night. Something like the Chiefs could have drafted AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor, and instead they got CEH and who did they? I forget who it was. Not even on the team anymore. But anyways, and it's like, and he said, and it doesn't even matter because Patrick Mahomes is God mode. Like it doesn't even matter that they just whiffed on those picks completely. Because Patrick Mahomes is so good. But still, you got to think they have to do something at wide receiver. Like, they have to. They have to. Whether it's trading for a guy like Evans or Hopkins or whatever, or drafting a guy maybe with their pick in the first round, they have to do something. They have to.
Well, that's what's funny. Every time we say, like, the Chiefs need this or need something, like, they really don't need anything. They're winning Super Bowls just fine the way they are, with Kelsey there. Like, it doesn't really matter who their receivers are. Okay.
They really just need Mahomes to stay healthy. That's really all they truly need. And
exactly.
Mahomes to stay healthy and a decent defense. A decent defense.
Right. Okay.
But having, getting a wide receiver would definitely help. All right, I gotta start looking at the board here. This is what happens when we start talking. Ooh, Stevenson.
Exactly. I had no idea who was available still.
This is people don't understand. One day everybody should try drafting and answering questions at the same time because you're not even paying attention. Like I have no idea who's been picked. Like not paying attention to the board at all. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm up. Where are we at? Higgins, Samuel, Debo. Wow, Debo at the 3.8. That's good. That's really good.
I was ready. I thought he was going to be available and he was going to fall. I was going to take him, but just missed.
Yeah, that's good value there for sure. All right, there's some guys here. There's still some guys here I like. I should get at least one of them.
Time running out, Chemo.
Let's go, Chemo. Oh, at the last second. Well, there's one of my guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's one. I almost took him, but because it's only 2 receiver, I was like, I'm gonna take my running back here.
All right. So I think I'm going. What is on the board? I think I like this.
Yeah, noticing too, looking at everyone else's picks, not just who's available. That's McLaurin in the third round, early third rounds.
Yeah,
It's
I
pretty
can't say I'm a fan of that. And he's not even like a Jet. It's not even like he's a Jet.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. All right, Big Mike.
This pick is tough because there's three guys I like here, and I just got to decide which direction I want to go with my team because there's actually like four guys I really like here.
Well,
there's three that I'm really debating between.
It's unlike when you're in the middle, you're like the 8th spot, and there's nobody you like.
Well, the difference here is like none of them are coming back. So you gotta there's no chance. So you gotta really think like, okay, how is this gonna affect my team when it comes back to me?
Is Etienne one of your targets?
Yeah, he is, and I think that's where I'm gonna go. I think it's just too good a value. I think 4th round is just too good a value. So I'm gonna go with It was between him. I'll say who the other two were when they get picked, but I think it's just debating like, do I want to go running back there and then maybe be a little weaker at wide receiver, or do I want to be strong at wide receiver and then just load up on late round running backs? That's really what it was coming down to. But I think Etienne's usually like a late 2nd, early 3rd round pick. I think there was another one of the guys I was thinking about was Calvin Ridley. There's one more. I'll wait till he gets
all
picked.
The Jags.
So I don't sway anybody with their pick.
When those Stingers become a Jags fan over this offseason, always got to get his guys. I won't take Evan Ingram this round. I don't think so. I don't think I'll in this draft. So I'm taking his targets. Who was your Ramondre? I guess Ramondre must be your target. All right. Now, see, like you said, now there's only 2 receivers that you have to start with 2 flexes. I mean, if it's full PPR, I'm still trying to flex a receiver if I can.
Yeah, generally you're going to be flexing a receiver most of the time, definitely. Especially, 2 flexes.
Hoping he gets traded to a better situation.
All right, yeah, that was it. So it was between Etienne, Ridley, and Hopkins for me. Those are the 3 guys. And it really just came down to roster construction and the team, and also the value for Etienne. Like, it was like, do I want 2 running backs early, but also can I pass on Etienne at this much of a value?
Yeah, I'm encouraged a little bit more with Hopkins because now we're hearing there's still a pretty good chance a deal can get done at some point. The Chiefs seem like they're loading up to make a move. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, but I just think as long as he goes somewhere else, I'll be happy. Doesn't have to be Buffalo or Kansas City.
Even if he stays, like, I think it's fine.
If he stays with Kyler Murray playing like half the season and like it's like Colt McCoy at quarterback and whatever else, like, are you taking him this high still?
Yeah, I think this high is fair. Like, if he goes to KC or Buffalo or something like that, like it's being rumored, then he goes up. Like, we got to draft him higher. But if he stays in Arizona, I think this is fair, because one thing about Colt McCoy, like we saw it last year, Colt McCoy peppered him with targets. He'll still get peppered with targets. And Colt McCoy is at least, I'd rather have Colt McCoy thrown to him than I don't know, who are some starting, like, I'd rather have Colt McCoy thrown to him than Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask, right? Or Carson Wentz or Sam Darnold or something like that. Like Colt McCoy is at least serviceable.
Well, and I was about to say maybe like Mac Jones, and there goes Jerry Jeudy. Like Jerry Jeudy, if he gets traded, I don't think it's a good thing. If he goes to the Patriots, which is that's my call still. Hopkins, if he goes to the Patriots, I'm moving him down my draft board. If he stays in Arizona, To me, he's more like a late 4th round pick. Like I'm taking him there, assuming or not assuming, but hoping he does go somewhere better.
Yeah, any receiver going to the Patriots, you got to knock way down. Got to knock way down. Like Juju was. I mean, Juju. I've already talked about it, but Juju was in the best possible situation last year. He was basically on a Chiefs team with no good wide receivers. Best possible situation he could be in, and he had like 4 good games. But the Patriots, I'm like, go ahead. Anybody else want? You want to draft Juju? You draft. You have him. Have him. He's yours. He is yours.
All yours.
All yours. He'll just sit on. The problem with like Juju's gonna be one of those guys that's gonna sit on your bench every single week, and then he'll pop off that 1 week, and you'll be like, "Oh man, why didn't I start Juju?" And then everybody will start him the next week, and he'll go back to scoring like 4 points.
Pretty much. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's like, and if they do get a guy like Judy, then Juju is almost like just undraftable, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. There goes DJ Moore. We're wondering when these.
I was thinking about him too. I think I have him a little bit lower than those guys, but he was also an option for me there.
Yeah, it's interesting because everyone, that trade was like a huge win for Chicago. Boost Moore's fantasy value that much. In fact, I remember last year, even when we knew the Panthers really didn't have much at quarterback, he was going in like the 3rd round. There's a lot of drafts.
Yeah, DJ Moore, like Austin put up that message about Terry McLaurin will be the 3rd, 4th round pick year after year. That's DJ Moore. It's like every year he'd be a 3rd, 4th round pick. Every year that everybody that drafted him would get burned, and then every year they would do it again. And they would get burned, and then they would do it again. And they would get burned. But I think this year, finally, with the Bears, I think it'll be better because number one of the biggest problems for DJ, everybody said it was a quarterback, but it was certainly quarterback play. But one of the biggest problems for DJ Moore is Matt Rule forced him into this X receiver role on the perimeter, just lining up on the line of scrimmage on the outside every single snap. And DJ Moore can do that, but that's not really his strength. His strength is line him up all over the field, get him in mismatches, get him in space, get the ball in his hands, and let him do his thing. And that's just not how the Panthers with Matt Rule use him. They're just like, stand out there on the line of scrimmage, facing the top corners. And, that was a big thing. And then, of course, quarterback play. I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Bears. I think the Bears will move them all over, use them the right way. So I finally like DJ Moore this year.
Finally, yep. And you stuck to that. You talked about him, and you've been drafting him. I think Matt Rule was a lot of the problem with everything with the Panthers last year.
Yes.
So that's fixed. We'll see who the quarterback is, although we pretty much know it's going to be Stroud, who apparently had a pretty good pro day.
Yeah, probably going to be Stroud. Frank Reich likes those bigger QBs.
Okay, so I talked about this yesterday. I spoke into existence. It's going to happen now. I waited, getting Fields.
Yeah.
Round 5.
Man, that's a great pick. Can't believe Fields still there for you. It's a great pick.
Got that upside. I mean, I don't hate having Jalen Hurts in like the 3rd round, but I mean, getting my running back and then still waiting and getting a guy like Justin Fields, who everybody's huge on the Bears. Why has Fields' ADP really not climbed more?
I don't know. I think people are still. I think this is why Fields' ADP is not. It's like how many times do we have to do this?
Honestly, does it matter? Does it really matter?
I literally had to argue this for like an entire offseason with Jalen Hurts. Like an entire offseason, people arguing with me, he's terrible. He's not a good thrower. Blah, 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 blah. Look at Jalen Hurts now. Look at people are drafting him like, can't wait to draft Jalen Hurts now. Brandon Ayuk is gone? This is the problem. Where
Ayuk just got taken by Frank Gore.
All right. Okay.
I think. Yeah, that's what's funny. He's like, his throwing, his accuracy. Who was he throwing to? Remember after Darnell Mooney got hurt and before they got Chase Claypool, like name two of the receivers that the Bears even had on the field. Like, well, like
Yes, nobody.
Equanimous St. Brown and somebody. Like, I mean, of course he's not going to complete a lot of passes.
Yeah, and that was the argument we were having last night. People saying like, oh, they threw it at only 22 attempts a game. Yeah, why would your game plan be to throw it 30 or 40 times when you've got Chase Claypool barely on the field, Darnell Mooney not even on the field, Velas Jones, like nobody? Why would you're not going to throw the ball? Of course you're not going to throw the ball. They're going to throw it more. And it's the same thing with the Eagles. We were having this last night. Okay, people were saying, hell, the Eagles were like 19th over expectation, or Nate was saying 19th over expectation throwing the ball 2 years ago. Jalen Hurts is like first year as a starter. I said, yeah, but look at the first half of the season to the second half. They flipped. First half of the season, remember, they were throwing it a ton. Then they went into this run-heavy team. What did we see last year? They threw it more. Why? Upgraded the offensive line. Got weapons. They actually had the personnel to throw the ball. The Bears are going to have the personnel to throw the ball. They will throw it more. Yes, Fields is good enough as a passer. Definitely
will be good enough. Yeah. Man, that was really tough for me. I did not take Cam Akers, even though he was there. It was between Gibbs and Akers. I went Gibbs, but
I'm surprised. Akers, your guy.
Akers, my guy. Still my guy, but got to mix it up every once in a while.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Like, Fields was a great passer in college. He was a great passer in college. It wasn't not like Anthony Richardson, who's a terrible passer in college. Anthony Richardson was awful as a passer in college.
Right.
Fields was actually a very good passer in college.
Well, take Lamar Jackson. This was not that long ago, right? Lamar Jackson came into the league. Everyone was like, yeah, they really need to make him a wide receiver. It's like he has no accuracy. It's like, I mean, he turned out fine. I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
It's okay. I do get this. I mean, you don't want to just like slap a label on a guy based on position, but that has been a thing. It's like Penn State running backs, and Ohio State quarterbacks. I mean, they've had some flops, no doubt, but it's turning around. I think it's turning around.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we never thought of like LSU as this wide receiver factory. Like, I remember coming up, LSU was like a QB running back factory. Like, all the QBs and running. Now it's like LSU is like wide receiver U, right? Or I guess now it's Ohio State for the last couple of years. But like, right, we've had Higgins, Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like all these stud wide receivers coming from LSU. All it takes is one. All it takes is for one guy, and then that narrative is gone. So I don't care where he played.
I'll take this bait, this low-hanging fruit. How to feel about the Dolphins. As long as Tua is on the field, I feel great. That's it. Like, when he was playing, they did great. We didn't get to see him in the playoffs, so who knows what would have happened. But cautiously optimistic, I guess.
That's always how you are about your own, unless you're like a Chiefs fan.
Yeah. Nah, there's some franchises like, they're a bunch of bombs. We're going to lose again this year, like every year, like those just like beaten down fan bases, kind of like Cleveland's. Yeah. But I have reason for hope.
That's the thing. There's three types of fans. Well, I should say there's four, but the fourth one's really rare. There's like the fans of like the Yankees, the Lakers, the Patriots when they had Brady, the Chiefs now. Those fans are only satisfied when the team is winning championships. Anything else is a failure.
Spoiled fans, spoiled ones.
Then there's the fans of like the Browns, whatever, like other teams and other sports I can't think of right now, who they just know their team's never going to win, and they've just accepted it. They're like, we're never going to win. I'm not falling for it. We're always going to be terrible. Then there's like the teams like where you're at, where it's like, well, we've had some success, but we've had some painful years. Things are kind of getting better, but I'm not ready to say like we're there, because it's like you've been burned too much, right? And then there's like the fourth fan who is very rare, who probably just looks at things very realistically, but that's like the really rare one. That's like the 3 type of fans. Like either
those fans like barely exist.
Barely exist. Like I'm a Laker fan and I get it. Like I would hate Laker fans because really for me it's like people are like oh, you guys made it to like the 3rd round, or you guys made it to the playoffs. It's like so what? So like so
Yeah.
like that's not how we play.
Yeah, you're not playing them to go out into the 2nd or 3rd round.
No, not when you're a Laker fan or a Yankee fan, or well, now Patriots fans are, but like if you're a Chiefs fan, like you don't feel good because it's like, hey, we made it to another AFC championship.
Yep. Runner up is first loser.
Royland now saying he's only targeting, that's it, just Justin Fields. Like if I don't get Justin Fields, I'm not even drafting a quarterback. Not even gonna take one. Just punt.
Oh, nice. Brendan, huge Dolphins fan. There you go. This is pretty funny.
One of my friends, actually, Pierre met him when we were in Ohio last year. He's from Cleveland, lifelong Browns fan. And even when they got Deshaun Watson, I was like, oh, how do you feel about it? He's like, oh, it probably won't matter. They'll probably still be bad. They'll probably won't. This is how Browns fans are.
Yeah. They'll find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, you've just been beaten down year after year after year. There's like, no, we'll never be good. It doesn't matter what we do, we will never be good.
I mean, remember how excited everyone was when they got Baker Mayfield, and then he came in for that first game, and like he threw his first touchdown, and they won. They looked like a comeback from behind victory. I'm going nuts. Like that was it. Like championship. This is it.
Yes.
Like it didn't last too long.
Where are we at here? Again, no idea. Wow, Kadarius Toney's already gone even? Okay. Rookies are on the board. Charbonnet.
And I will say this. I did take Miles Sanders last night as my RB3. So, I think Miles, he's going to get a lot of run. I mean, I think he's in a good spot. Carolina itself might not be great, but I think he'll get enough touches. He's effective. So I have to come around on Miles Sanders a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I'm not completely out on Miles Sanders.
Yeah, this is pretty late. Round 7 for him. I mean, I would take him over Javonte and Pacheco and some of those guys. Oh, sorry. No offense to Team 3. I know you just took both those guys. Yeah. And by the way, also, Team 3, you do need to start at least 2 receivers. And then thoughts on Jameson. There's some Lion talk. I think probably because you said something about losing fan bases and teams that are. No, I actually did think of the Lions too, but I'm like, well, they actually have hope this year because they almost made the playoffs and everyone's all excited. But I know I'm at least like pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe they'll make the playoffs, but like they're not going to make a deep run in the playoffs, I don't think. Yeah. But thoughts on Jameson? Like, I'm okay taking shots on him, around this area here. I didn't love him as a prospect. Like, he wasn't one of my favorite wide receivers, coming into the draft last year. But we can't act like there's not, potential for him.
Right. Okay. Let's take some topical names.
Brandon Cooks.
At this stage, why not? He's my 5th receiver. I think Cooks will be fine. We're officially in the dead zone for running backs now that Harris just got taken. There's one other guy I kind of like, but other than that, I might as well just take rookies. Okay, what do you think about this? I'm just coming in and noticed that Watson a whole round ahead of London. That's not unusual. Do you think that's a mistake? I mean, London, we did talk about him a little bit last night. He was really productive the last few games once it wasn't Marcus Mariota at quarterback. I think he's going to be solid, but Watson has that different level kind of upside.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that, like Watson feels a little early to me there. I mean, Debo, Amari, Mike Williams, Ridley. Like I'd like him more around like Ridley Hopkins' range for me. So I do feel like I don't think it's so much that like London went late. I think it's more that Watson went early in this draft.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It's a little early for Watson, but man, it's hard to pass up on that upside. You got to wonder if the Packers are going to do anything at receiver. They need to do something, don't they?
I feel like we say that every year.
Oh, I mean, they did take Watson. He was what, the second round pick, though. I mean,
yeah,
they have to reload. They have to. I'm not sure what to make of this take. I'm actually not even sure if this is a take. You want to give your reaction to this?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Prescott and Zach Wilson. That's good. That's a good call.
I think you meant Charbonnet.
Oh, okay, Charbonnet. Well, that's okay, I guess.
I like Dak. I think people are too low on Dak. I think what's being lost in the Brandon Cooks trade is not like what it does for Brandon Cooks or what it does for Gallup, or it's what it does for Dak. Because Dak, look, who did Dak had? CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup on one leg, Noah Brown, and a tight end. That's who he was throwing to last year. He now has, say what you want about Brandon Cooks. I've seen his reception perception from Matt Harmon, who, by the way, we will have on the show soon here before the draft. Brandon Cooks can still run the vertical routes. He's still a burner. He's still fast. He can still go deep.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott did not have that last year. He did not have anybody like that last year because the only guy on the team who could do it, Michael Gallup, only had one leg. So I think Dak is going to have a big season this year. I think Brandon Cooks helps Dak more than anything.
Yeah, I mean the only question is the Cowboys' offense going to change because Kellen Moore is not there? I guess McCarthy is going to call the plays. Does that mean they're going to go more pass happy because they don't have Zeke there anymore to like clog up the middle of the lane with those 2-3 yard runs? I mean, do you think they go more pass heavy?
I do, because Mike McCarthy, every year he's ever called the plays, that his teams have been extremely pass happy, like ridiculous pass happy. And I know he said like we need to run the ball more, and coaches always say this stuff during the offseason, but they're going to go back to their tendencies and who they are, and they don't have Zeke anymore. Probably, I'm guessing they don't bring him back at a cheaper deal or anything. I know everybody thinks they're going to draft Bijan, but guess what? Only one team can draft Bijan. It doesn't mean he's going to fall to the Cowboys. So I think they're going to be very pass happy. Though, I mean, I guess maybe the only risk is the defense. But look, there's lots of teams with good defenses that put up great fantasy points, throwing the ball. It's not like you don't have to have a terrible defense. Like,
no. And just because you have a terrible defense doesn't mean that you're going to be a good passing team either. We saw that with the Texans. Yeah. All right, so finally, someone took Elijah Moore, and it was me. I'm surprised nobody took him earlier. I mean, come on. This move to the Browns, this is what we've been waiting for, right? A new situation. You got a good quarterback to throw to him. This will unlock him.
I will say I debated him when I took Dak. I debated him there.
There you go. So that was a whole almost 2 rounds earlier.
But I figured, you know what? If I don't get Dak here, I'm going to get stuck with, like, I don't know, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, somebody like that. So I took him there.
I do see Tua still available.
Tua wouldn't have been bad. I'd be okay with Tua. Now that it sounds like the Dolphins have faith in him.
Yeah. Confidence is not the issue. Just ability to actually block and pass protect and keep him upright. So yeah, we don't want to overreact, of course, but to me, Moore's value definitely goes up. This is what we wanted for Elijah Moore. I mean, this is almost the perfect spot for him.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna put him up like I'm not gonna jump him up a ton of rounds, but I think when you're getting into this range, definitely now one of my favorite guys.
Dak, he said that was a steal for you to get Dak. Someone now is not an Elijah Moore fan. No surprise. It's the Jets fan.
Last night he's a 5th rounder. Now he's dead to me.
X-Jet. I'm going to just start referring to him as X-Jet Elijah Moore.
X-Jet Elijah Moore, yes.
All right. You took Jacoby Myers. All right. Actually, I had him queued up too, but I need running backs anyways. My guy who also had a good showing in the pro day. Back on the tank.
I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. He definitely has a physical attributes of an NFL back, but
I mean, obviously for him, landing spot's going to be huge because he's going to need to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
He's not going to be one of those like hyper efficient guys. He's not like a Devin Achane. He's like a burner who can just take a few carries and do something with it. Like he's going to need to lather up and get a few touches. And so right now, I'll just pretend he's going to go to the perfect spot. Wherever that is. I don't even know where that is right now.
Yeah, I don't even know where that would be either.
Dallas?
Well, I mean, Dallas would be a good spot for him in that Zeke role, honestly.
All right, so Bijan Mustard did take Juju. Got my thoughts on that roster, but we'll wait till the end for that. What about Rashad Penny?
I think we talked about this last night. I like Penny. I like the Eagles for him behind that offensive line. He's talented. But man, can he stay on the field? And it's like, you say, well, you say that about everybody. But no, really for Penny, it's really can he stay on the field? I keep saying it. 5 years, 42 games. That's an average of 8 games per year. That's not even half the season anymore with the 17-game season. So it's really just if he plays all 17, I think Penny will be great. But will he play all 17? Will he play 10? Will he play 5? I don't even know.
That and how early do the Eagles draft a running back? I mean, there's a lot of rumors. They've met with Bijan. That I think that could happen. So obviously, if they take Robinson, then forget it. Penny's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that would change. Obviously, if they draft Bijan, that would definitely. It wouldn't even matter how many games Penny plays. It won't matter anymore.
Even if they take a guy like in the 2nd or 3rd round at running back, I think that means they view Penny as just a backup or a rotation guy.
Exactly. Yeah, and that is the worry here. That's why I just don't see him taking Bijan because the Eagles' MO has always been run a rotation, run a committee. Like, why are you going to draft Bijan to have him play 40% of the snaps? Because Penny's playing, he's playing 40, Penny's playing 30, Gainwell's playing 20, and Boston Scott's playing 10. Like, why? I think that math was right. That was off the top of my head, but you know what I mean? Like, why are you going to invest a first-round pick in a guy that you're not going to, have on the field 70, 80% of the snaps? Unless they've only been doing the rotation because they don't believe in their running backs, which maybe is the case. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, and someone's saying here that he didn't even get what Boston Scott got, which tells you how much they think. I mean, he's just a flyer at this point. But Still, like you said, drafting a guy like Bijan early, that's a whole different thing than just drafting a running back like second round or third round. I mean, that means you're getting him because you want him to be an everything 3-down back. Okay, hold on. I'm up now.
Yeah, if they invest first round draft capital for Bijan, they're gonna use him. And yeah, you can't, if you're an NFL team, you can't commit a big contract to Rashad Penny. And because it's like, look, you're talented, but we need guys who are on the field, and you're never on the field. So if you want to try to go out there and prove that you can stay healthy for a year, here's what you get. You get this little chintzy contract, and then maybe if you stay healthy all year, finally, then somebody will pay you. But yeah, it wouldn't be smart to pay a guy like Penny, decent money when given his track record of health or lack thereof.
Yeah. All right. Definitely lack. Oh.
These tight ends are starting to dry out, so
yeah. Glad I just realized I don't have a tight end.
Yeah, I might have to take one here. Yeah, I'm gonna go
Taysom Hill.
When is Pitt's pro day? I can't wait till Abanikamba. I know I just butchered that. I always butcher his name. Runs a 40. Because no one's gonna talk about Devin Ashane anymore after he runs a 40. No one's gonna talk about Devin Ashane anymore.
I don't know. Shane's pretty fast.
I'll bet you he runs sub 4.4. And he's gonna weigh in at like 215 pounds, not 180.
Right. I was gonna say Shane's really fast, but he's also pretty small.
Exactly. It's like everybody's all like losing their mind about little Shane running fast because he has to run fast. But Albin Kanba is going to run very fast and be considerably bigger, and actually is able to play running back at the NFL level, unlike Devin Ashane, who will not be able to play running back at the NFL level.
Yeah, Shane is. I mean, I would say like a Devin Singletary, but faster. Singletary actually wasn't as straight up fast, but kind of similar. So do we just, at this point, do we let Zeke and Lenny just go undrafted?
I probably would. Honestly. Like I'm fine if people want to draft them. They're just not the guys I'm going to draft. Like I'd rather shoot for more upside, right? I'd rather shoot for guys.
Yeah, take a rookie.
Like, okay, let's say you draft Zeke and he lands on, let's say, I don't know, like a team like it already has a back and he's in some kind of committee. Like, okay, what are you really getting from Zeke? Maybe you throw him in when you're desperate on a bye week or something. You hope he falls into the end zone. Okay, fine. But like if I take a chance on Abanakanba or whatever and he busts, okay, he busts. But if he hits, he's going to hit big. He'll hit big. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather take a gamble on that. I mean, okay, maybe he doesn't hit big, but like Zeke's never going to hit big. Lenny's probably never going to hit big.
No, that ship has sailed. Yeah, that's what we always preach, right? Upside. That's what wins championships. I think the upside is pretty capped. That's a good thought. What if he goes to the Jags as like the goal line, the change of pace back to go with Etienne?
Okay, so it's like 3rd and 1, Zeke's on the field. 3rd and 2, Zeke's on the field. The ball's at the 1, Zeke's on the field. That's his role. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's Jamal Williams, but without 15 carries. It's just touchdown. It's literally touchdown or nothing. Touchdown or nothing. That's that type of guy. And sure, there will be a week or two where he scores 2 touchdowns. And everybody's like, Zeke is back. He's back. And then the next week you start him and he scores 0.
This is
like I just don't draft those kind of guys. You're just not like I just have no interest in those kind of guys. Like I said, I'd rather look, maybe like even like a guy like Shaheed. Maybe Shaheed busts badly this year. Like Michael Thomas stays healthy, Chris Olave becomes like an alpha, and Shaheed does nothing. Okay, fine. I drop him. But Zeke, like, there's just nothing for Zeke. There's no upside for Zeke.
Speaking of Michael Thomas, Bus letting us know he just drafted the top receiver for the 3 or 4 games he's actually going to play. I mean, that's pretty good value, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty, because he'll probably have some rant. He'll do nothing. They'll have some game where he falls into the end zone 3 times. Like he'll get 10 carries for 25 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? He'll get you 20 fantasy points because that's 20 and a half fantasy points. And people will be like, oh, you got to start Zeke this week. You got to start. He's a goal line back. He's got a massive touchdown upside, and then he won't get any touchdowns.
Yeah, he's not. The difference is he's not as fast as Taysom Hill.
That's true. He's
right.
not as fast as Taysom Hill anymore.
And he can't throw the ball. Tanner, we got an Shane fan here. Tanner said he will not tolerate the slander, likes his tape. I gotta watch maybe a little bit more.
You like his tape because he's fast, and in college you can just get by being way faster than everybody else. But he rarely ran. He had no goal line carries. I think he had 4 carries inside the 10 the whole year. I think it was like only 30% of his carries were between the tackles. Everything was like just designed to go outside and use that speed, which makes sense. And you can do that at the college level because very few people in the college game are playing in the pros this year, right? Very few are going to be actually playing in the pros. Everybody in the NFL is fast. You can't just, he's going to have moments. He's going to have a game where he rips off a 60-yard touchdown because he hits the edge and no one's there or whatever, and people are going to lose their mind. But he's not going to be a week in, week out running back producer at the NFL level. I just don't see it. He's 188 pounds. Name me the last 188-pound running back who produced. I don't even know. Like Darren Sproles is probably the closest guy I can think to of him. Maybe what's his name? Tariq Cohen that one year when he caught like 70 passes or whatever. But that's what you're hoping for. That's the best case scenario. I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong, but 188-pound running backs, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, that he's got to be an excellent receiver and used extensively as a receiver. And I don't know if that's in the cards.
Here's another problem. He is a horrific blocker. Like, he's a liability in the backfield. Like, he's going to get his quarterback killed. So he's not going to be out there on obvious passing downs. So I don't understand, what is his kick return, punt return, and then maybe sometimes second down, long, things like that. That's what I think his role will be, but we'll see.
All right. Well, somebody else is a fan, and yeah, I'm also a fan of Abanaconda. As someone says, he could be the RB3 as far as rookies. I'll take that. I think that's good. I do like Charbonnet, but I think he could be.
I think people are really wait because he didn't do anything at the combine, so people don't know yet. But wait, if whenever Pitt has their pro day, if he runs at the pro day, people are going to start losing their minds because they're going to be like, wait, we're excited about Devin Achane running the 4.3, but this guy who's 215 pounds also ran a 4.3. Why do we care about Devin Achane running a 4.3?
Right. That's the difference between just 40 time and speed score. Speed score is actually accounting for weight and size and all that. But let's not get into all that. Let's talk about these teams. So, appreciate y'all joining us. But let's go through real quick what you like, what you didn't. Sam had the number 1 pick. Justin Jefferson, no shock. DK Metcalf had the 2. And then Josh Jacobs, Burrow, Kirk, Monty, Quentin Johnson, Rashad White, Evan Ingram. Sorry, Stinger. Madison, Mechie, Mims, and Evans.
I mean, I like this team. I don't see anything I really don't like. Jacobs at the 3 at the turn there is good. Got Burrow, got Kirk, got Monty. Got some upside rookie wide receivers. Got some upside running backs. I like this squad. I think it's a good team. Good team.
Yeah. No complaints here. And you got your guy Joe Burrow, so you must be happy. And then Ale, our mock master, always comes away with a good team. Let's see how he did out of the 2 spot. Chase, Olave, Pollard, and Moore and Pittman. A lot of your guys on there. Goddard, Lamar, got Jameson, and then went running back heavy, and then Josh Palmer. So I guess anchor RB, sort of. Pollard in the 3rd round early, and then waited. So the RB2 is going to be mix and match here. You like this?
Which is fine. He keeps drafting Elijah Mitchell, I feel like, really early. And I get it. Like, if CMC goes down, Mitchell, but Mitchell's not really the beacon of health. And he really needs an injury. I'd like to see him a little bit later. I also don't understand the Palmer pick because you've already got 5 receivers and you only need to start 2. And I don't really see a path for Palmer with Keenan back. But that being said, this is a great team. Chase, Olave, DJ Moore, Pittman in the 5th. Goddard, Lamar, Pollard. That's a great squad. It's a great squad. As long as, I would have liked to seen probably just one more running back over Palmer. And I'd like to see Mitchell as your last. I think you can get Mitchell as your last pick and grab somebody like Madison or Mostert, who maybe has a role at least early on in the season. But that's a great team.
Yeah, I do like the Cook pick I think is fine there. The Mostert pick could be pretty good. Someone asked earlier, how the Dolphins backfield will break down. Just like it did last year, it's going to be, kind of a hot hand thing, or realistically just whoever's healthy. Like between those 2 guys are always hurt, Mostert and Wilson, just like whoever's actually healthy and on the field. So I think he'll have some value. So definitely a good team. I like that you had your receivers and your flex set there with those 4 really good receivers. And then you got still kind of a high-end tight end, but without going too early. And then you got a high-end quarterback, but without going too early. You kind of hit that at the top of that 2nd tier for those positions. I think that's a good move if you're going to do that. All right, team 3. I did mention this earlier. Might have some issues because you got Tyreek Hill, which is amazingly good. Nick Chubb is fine. Josh Allen, good. Mark Andrews, fine. And then after getting Dalvin Cook, decided to go Pacheco and Javonte, which leaves Gabe Davis as your wide receiver 2. Adam Thielen maybe as your flex, unless you think you're going to flex Pacheco and Javonte. Then we got Waller and Kamara.
Yeah, I'm not loving this build. I gotta be honest. Like, there's some reaches on here. Yeah, this team, and if you're taking Andrews in the 4th, I don't understand the Darren Waller pick in the 10th. Because if you don't have confidence in Andrews, then don't take him in the 4th. Like, just wait and take Waller in the 10th. Just wait and take Waller in the 10th, and then maybe grab a guy like, somebody else. Yeah, I can't say I like this team.
No, so taking a cue from like what Ale did, if you're going to take shots in the later rounds, it should be more at running back and not receiver. So you'd be better off getting some solid guys. Like you could have taken a Dotson or, well, maybe not, like even like a Burks or a Cooks or somebody like that. You didn't need that many running backs, and the running backs you got weren't elite running backs either. So, yeah, let's move on to the team NMB 45. It was here last night too. You got Cup, we got Devontae, we got Jalen Hurts, little Eagles stack there. J.K. Dobbins and James Conner at running back. JSN, Zay Flowers, some rookies there. Receiver, Cortland Sutton, Kyle Pitts. It's an interesting mix of experience and inexperience.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, Cup, Smith, Hurts, Dobbins, that's nice. I like JSN. Connors, your RB2 is at least solid. Pitts, I think, worth the gamble there. Sutton, Zay, Gainwell, Osborne, Tucker, Shaheed took some shots. Like I said, took some shots on some guys with some upside. Maybe they'll burn, maybe they'll bust, but you know what? It's okay. It's what you got to do in the later rounds. So, not quite as good as the first 2 teams, I don't think, but still a good team.
Couldn't agree with that. I like the beginning. The middle is a little iffy for me, but it's solid. And then our guy Jazz Chisholm finishing up spring training, took a time off just to mock with us. That was very thoughtful. All right, got CMC Barkley at the start. I like that. Definitely a good way to build your core. Then Terry in the 3rd. I mean, we already spent time talking about him and Drake London and then Deontay. So then Mixon, Sanders, and Robinson didn't go back to receiver until OBJ and Michael Thomas at the end of the draft. Now, there's only
What
2
year is
receivers
this?
that you have to start, but what do you think of the makeup of this team?
I think because of this format, because this format gives you more flexibility. I think the makeup of the team is okay. I look, I just don't like Terry McLaurin over a lot of those receivers that went after him, like Watson, Debo, Cooper, Big Mike, Ridley, Hopkins. Probably not even over Keenan Allen. Probably not over Hollywood. Judy, we'll see. Probably not over Drake London. Definitely not over DJ Moore. Probably not even over Christian Kirk because, like, what have we really seen from Terry McLaurin where he should be a third? Like, he's been so good that he should be a third-round pick, and we can't just expect that either Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett is going to unleash Terry McLaurin all of a sudden. So I think that's a little early for Terry McLaurin. I mean, I don't mind like the way you constructed the team. I just don't like that pick personally.
Right. I don't think he can be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. No. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like a my guys draft. You got Aaron Rodgers and McCole Hardman. I see some jet action there, and Michael Thomas. So I mean, you're strong at running back. All right, Bijan Mustard did not get Bijan, but went Diggs and then Henry, Mahomes, Judy Hawk, Godwin Evans, Swift Herbert, Juju Moore, Shane, that guy we were talking about, and Rashawn Johnson. So I'm noticing here you happen to have 2, maybe, Patriots receivers. If Judy gets traded to the Patriots, you got 2 Bucks receivers. That's interesting.
Yeah, man, really gambling on Baker Mayfield and or Kyle Trask there with those 2 Bucks receivers.
I mean, you feel like Godwin in the 6th round and Evans in the 8th round, like that's amazing. That's great. But I don't think I like both. I think if you got one or the other.
I don't even think it's amazing or great. I think they're going to be, I mean, maybe Godwin in the 8th, I think would be okay. Like maybe Godwin in the 8th because, you know, he runs the shorter routes. But Evans, like unless Evans gets traded, man, I have a hard time seeing a path for Evans, to be honest. And I like Evans, so, but it's just you gotta be real about the situation. Yeah, and even Judy, like I think Judy's okay, but I just don't see a lot of upside for Judy. Even if he stays in Denver, like, are we expecting Judy to be some kind of monster this year? I just think there's guys that went after him, more potential upside. I just feel like this team is, I don't know. It just feels like it's missing something, like missing the upside on this team or something.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot of these players have great name value, and I feel like they're all going to be like kind of let down. Like,
yeah,
it's almost, I don't want to say like an all bust team, but it's going to be like a little disappointing. Like Mike Evans is going to disappoint you. Judy's going to disappoint you. Like Diggs and Henry, it's fine. But those are the first 2 rounds. You know what I mean? Swift is going to disappoint you. Juju's going to disappoint you. So I don't know, but you got a Shane, so that's good. All right,
yeah,
Frank Gore definitely knows how to draft. He took 2 running backs, no surprise, Austin Eckler and Robinson. Watson, Marquise Brown, Ayuk, Dotson, and Tony. What do you think of that receiver core?
See, this is like the difference than Tanner's team in that this team is just oozing with upside. Like every one of these players, like, okay, this team may have some weeks where they only score like 80 or 90 points and they get smashed, but they're going to have a lot of weeks where they're the highest scoring team in the league and they're going to crush people because, I mean, Eckler, Bijan, Watson, Hollywood, Ayuk, Dotson, Tony, this team just oozing upside. And to me, I'd rather draft a team like that because if you have a team with that kind of upside, you can win on any given week, and 1 or 2 moves, one waiver wire pickup or 1 trade, and suddenly your team becomes unbeatable. So I like that start a lot. I really like what Frank Gore did here. Frank Gore obviously has been working on his fantasy football game since he's retired, for sure,
and his boxing. And I took 2 throwback running backs there, Damian Harris and Dante Foreman, 2 bruisers. You know, so it makes sense. Yeah, at Tua in the last round. I'm not starting Gerald Everett in fantasy this year, but whatever. That was his tight end. That was the last, tight end taken.
Good.
So I actually like this team quite a bit.
I do too. I like this team. A lot of upside.
And then there's the other John. So Kelsey, Kenneth Walker, Debo. I love that start. Keenan in round 4. I think that's a great pick. Herbert to stack with. Took Akers. You're welcome. Burks, Addison, Joku. Look, this might be my favorite roster of players because there's a lot of the guys I've been loving since they came into the league, like Kenneth Walker, Cam Akers, Burks, and Joku. I actually like this build also.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't need Njoku because you already had Kelsey, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that. I was like, Njoku feels like a wasted pick. Like you're only gonna start Njoku 1 week, and that's Kelsey's bye. At least you're hoping that's what you're hoping. And if you're starting Njoku more often than that, your team's in trouble. Yeah, I mean, but up to that point, I like it a lot. I don't that Njoku pick makes no sense to me. But I like the other guys you got. Again, taking shots on guys with upside. Maybe they'll flame out, maybe they'll bust, but I'd rather take shots on guys with upside. So other than that Njoku pick, I like other John's draft.
I mean, if that pick you swap it out for a running back, like any running back, like a Rashad Penny, or take a rookie like Bigsby, just take a shot on someone with upside. This might be my favorite team actually. Besides mine, we already know that's clearly 10 out of 10. Let's go on to the next one. Now, all right, what do you think of this? I feel like I got pretty good values with Lamb and St. Brown.
Yeah, definitely agree. Lamb, I think, is great value. St. Brown, probably about where he goes. Stevenson, good value, always good value in these drafts. I like that Hopkins pick. I talked about it. It was between him, Ridley, and Etienne. Love that Fields pick. I was somehow hoping Fields would make it back to me. Don't hate the Gibbs pick. Just surprised you picked him over Akers. Bateman, Cooks, Moore, well worth it. Then again, like a lot of upside here. Bigsby, Chase Brown, Chig. That's a great, when you're waiting on tight end, nothing wrong with Chig. Then you had to get a Dolphin at the end. So once again, another solid draft for sure.
Elijah Moore cinches it, right? That's the cherry on top.
Yes.
All right. And then Chemo, AJ Brown down at the 10, Waddle at the 2-3, Cooper. I mean, that's a 1-2-3 for receivers. Maybe, I think it's safe to say maybe the best top 3 receivers maybe out there.
Probably. Like I'm trying to AL with Chase, Olave, DJ Moore, probably slightly better than that. Yes.
Although now that I look at it, nobody else went receivers and just receiver the first 3 rounds. But still.
Although Adams, Higgins, Ridley is pretty good too for Stinger on the next one. I like that.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, that's true. We haven't got to that one. All right. And then you got Brees Hall, Damian Pierce, got Kittle, Watson, Dillon, Penny, Boyd. Good. More of a veteran team for the most part. Your running backs are actually pretty young, but I think this is solid. This is definitely a contender.
Definitely a contending team. I like this team. Got some good value. You did snipe me on Cooper when I was going to take him if he was still there at the turn, so you did get me there. So that was nice. Like that team. Definitely like that team.
And Stinger definitely on brand here. Got his Jaguars. You got Mooney. This is a vintage Stinger team. So got Devontae Adams, which I think 11. That's pretty good value for him. Higgins, Ridley. So another formidable wide receiver group there. And Ridley really is a flex, right? Don't need to start 3 receivers. Yeah. Got Najee and Aaron Jones with Algier to back him up. Got Trevor Lawrence. You got Schultz. This is a nice pick there at tight end. Mooney, Collins, Downs. It's good top to bottom.
Yeah. Another good draft for Stinger. He's been crushing it this year. Another good draft for him for sure.
We're gonna watch our backs. I know he joined one of the dynasty leagues, and now he's gonna be taking us out. Oh, okay. Did not know this. I just saw this. The Johnson.
Okay.
Njoku was a mistake.
That makes more sense.
All right.
That makes more sense. All right. You get a pass for that then, because yeah.
All right. And last but never least, all right. So you got Garrett Wilson in round 1. I think that's fair. I think like a week or 2 ago, we might have seen St. Brown go before Garrett Wilson, but I don't know. He's probably going to stay there, right? Do you see Garrett Wilson going out of the first round?
Only if they're unable to work out a deal for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers says, "Forget it, I'm just going to retire." Then and then we don't know who's then he would drop like a rock. But until then, no.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see him going out of the first round if guys wanted to like go running back at the turn. But I think he's like I said, for me, I might even have him over AJ Brown right now. But he's definitely over Adams for me. So.
All right, there you go. Yeah, well, there were only 2 running backs taken in the first round, but then you got JT, so that's nice. And then you followed up with 18 after that. Mike Williams, Lockett. I think it's the second night in a row you take Lockett, Pickens, Charbonnet. Good pick there. Dak, Komet. Yeah, so I don't love Etienne, but I think it's fine. I think Charbonnet might be just as good as him this year. Very solid, top to bottom. Dak could break out. Yeah, and he took I see your rookie there. Rashee Rice was the last pick here, huh?
Yeah, I like him. I think he could be drafted higher than people think. If he lands in the right spot. If not, okay, I drop him. He's my last pick. Whatever. I drop him. No big deal.
Yeah. You do have good weekly upside. Mike Williams, of course, has those boom weeks. Lockett, has those boom weeks. Pickens should have more boom weeks. So ton of upside. Pretty good. All right.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm trying to put this up here. Thanks. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. By the way, we're going to mock draft again. Not right now, but are we going to do it tomorrow?
Yep. We'll be back again tomorrow night. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right. So if you didn't get in tonight, good news. There's a cheat code you can use, and it's right down there. You see it scrolling. It's in the description. There's a link you can click on. flockfantasy.com/endgame. If you join, then you can be in the Discord that is now migrated to that server, just as good as our other Discord. If you've been part of that, definitely want you to join. And also all this bonus content all off season. It's coming. We have articles up there, not just from us, but you can actually see articles and rankings that are consensus rankings for Dynasty and Best Ball from us and other sites like Fantasy Land and Stock Exchange, and of course the Flock, one you all are familiar with, Mason of Fantasy Flock, great dude. So you can see articles from not just us, but also guys over there, the rankings that we have. You can select just ours if you want. Live streams, links to live streams, so you can join us here a lot more. Check it out, 30% off if you go to flockfantasy.com/endgame and use that code endgame, and that gets you in. All right, guys. Hopefully we'll see all of you again tomorrow.